Every year at this time, we hear from one of the members of the graduating class. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you today the valedictorian for this year. And please join me in welcoming to the podium Timur Daniel Guler.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to start by thanking everyone who came out here today to help us celebrate Gilman's 114th Founders Day. Mr. Smythe, Ms. Turner, trustees, faculty from the lower, middle, and upper school, siblings, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, the underclassmen who could make it today, and everyone else in attendance. Boys, give them a round of applause. All of us sitting here today are about to embark on the greatest adventure of our lives. Very soon, we'll leave our little haven in Roland Park. Most of us will even leave the state of Maryland. There'll be some adjustments, sure. As you all know, Nashville ain't Baltimore. But I personally can't wait for the big wide world out there to get to know us. Every single one of these 113 incredible young men. You see, some schools can boast a multi-sport varsity athlete, a world-class pianist, a math superstar, and a future Ivy Leaguer. But at Gilman, that's just one guy. Take a bow, Richard Chin. Now, as a class, we chose to do things our own way, and we might have upset a little people in the process, but you see, we're the kids who lined up on the football field in 8th grade with tenders painted across our chest to protest a less than ideal menu decision by the Flick Lunch program. We spent freshman year flipping each other's backpacks inside out through a process known as nuggeting. Junior year, we organized a school-wide water balloon fight, which involved around 5 minutes of throwing balloons and 30 minutes of cleaning them up. And this October, we shocked and possibly annoyed WJZ by filling their TV studio past capacity with painted-up seniors who just couldn't wait for some It's Academic action. We were always known for our antics, but at the end of the day, I like to think that we made it work. And I have a feeling that this school will find itself missing us and our shenanigans come next fall. Now, when I was preparing for this speech, I asked a few kids how they would describe our class. And I think that our 4-year class president, Kyle Tarantino, put it best in just one word: personality. People in our society tend to put a lot of emphasis on results, so throughout your life, you're going to hear a lot about mind and body. Now, it's good to learn a lot, and it's great to be ripped. But I believe, and I think that my brothers would agree, that the most important aspect of Gilman's 3-part philosophy is the final one: spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, our class embodies spirit. Every valedictorian mentions the kids with the greatest achievements, but right now, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the true characters. They gave us such incredible memories over these 4 years. So in the style made famous in Assembly this year, would the following students please stand to be recognized? Mac Franklin. There he is. Frank is the heart and soul of the intramural basketball program, and he just can't wait for Friday. Alex Puthamana. There he is. Young Puth regaled the Model UN squad with his tips for looking good 24/7, and he looks to be a contender in the Indy 500 sometime in the near future. Ian Churchill. Church is the quintessential rowdy gentleman, and he loves sports so much that he wore a jacket and tie to this year's Gilman McDonough game. But we're not just characters. I like to think that we also display character. Character is all about growth, and I think we can all agree that the class of 14 has grown a lot over the years. To be honest, the class I entered in freshman year wasn't the most united. We played calculator games and dating Ariane on opposite sides of CT20, and a lot of us didn't even say hi to each other in the halls. But this year, something magical happened. We came together. We cried together when brothers left us. We hung out together in the senior room. We broke down each other's walls at senior retreat, and together, we finally realized that what divided us was trivial compared to what now unites us, our shared experience at Gilman. I'd like to tell you about one particular moment that I feel defines our class and our senior year. For those of you in the audience that might not know, Gilman does, in fact, have a water polo team. But up until October 1st, I don't think any students had been to a game. Our class decided to do something to change that. For the home game against our biggest athletic rival, McDonough, we decided to check out what this water polo business was all about. Storm the pool did so much more than any of us could have imagined. Over a quarter of the student body marched into the swimming complex, bedecked in our finest swim trunks and most colorful Hawaiians, with pool noodles and flotation devices in hand. Our cheers filled the pool room for 2 whole hours, and I doubt that any of those who attended, much less water polo captain C.J. Roebuck, will ever forget what happened once the final whistle blew. Everyone in the stands ran out onto the deck and leaped into the pool. For a solid 15 minutes, we turned the water a frothy white in an ecstatic celebration of spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what the class of 14 is all about. I think that part of our sense of spirit stems from the extraordinary character demonstrated by individuals in our class, boys who displayed exceptional heart through tremendous effort and courage over the course of their Gilman career. Would the following students please stand to be recognized? Ellie Barangosi. Ellie left his home in the Democratic Republic of Congo only a year before coming to Gilman and made himself a new home in the United States where he not only survived but thrived. Now he is a wonderful classmate, masterful storyteller, and a terrific artist. Robert Law. Rob spent most of his first 12 years at Gilman making jokes under the radar, but he took a leap of faith and character this winter and auditioned for the spring musical Spamalot. Rob turned out to be one of the funniest actors our school has seen in years. And last but not least, Edward Brown. Ed Brown, the unrowdy gentleman, is in all seriousness the most kind and genuine human being I have ever had the pleasure of coming into contact with. And he has held our class to the highest standard of honor and decency purely by his example. I know that none of us would be the unique and spirited individuals we are today if it weren't for the care and support of everyone around us. So I'd like to thank all the people who've accomplished the unlikely feat of turning 113 goofy 14-year-olds into the outstanding men you see before you today. I'll start with the 2 most important people in my life, my parents, Colleen and Osman Guler. They dropped thousands of dollars to send me to this school for 4 years, which, as my father often points out, could have just as easily been spent on a new car. Thank you, 1998 Corolla, and thank you, Baba. I love you. But care and dedication doesn't end at home. Gilman School will be nothing without the incredible effort put in by the faculty who go the extra mile for us every day. Mr. Smythe, our headmaster, is a shining example of perhaps the most underappreciated of the Gilman Five, humility. He has more power than anyone else in the school, but always conducts himself in a polite and unassuming manner no matter who he's dealing with, and never takes himself too seriously. Eva Turner, head of upper school, has served Gilman for the past 19 years, and this ceremony ends her final year at Gilman. Miss Turner had to deal with a lot as head of the upper school, but she always approached each day with a smile. We'll all miss you next year, Miss Turner, and we wish you continued happiness wherever your journey takes you. The faculty at Gilman don't do it for the 2-figure salary they make. They do it because they love this community and truly care about each and every one of us. Here's an example. I never had Samuel Beespies as a teacher, and he never had any connection with the debate team. But on no minute's notice, he drove us to Park School, spent 2 hours judging a high school debate, and bought a delicious Subway sandwich for all of us. Thank you, Mr. Beespies. Even the staff at Gilman put in the effort and enthusiasm that make this place magical. I know he didn't want me to mention him today, but Darnell White of the custodial staff has played his iPod in the lunchroom every day for the last 3 years. I almost died of happiness, I think we all did, when he played everyone's favorite song, Levels. And I honestly can't imagine a silent lunch at Gilman. Now for you guys, the underclassmen, who are stepping up next year to be the school's new leaders, obviously I can't claim to be wise, so I'll share a couple of pieces of advice with you that I've picked up from the wisest person I know, my Uncle Joe Pacillo, who's here today. These are two simple yet universal truths which I believe will serve you all well if you take them to heart. Here's the first. If you have to be a ditch digger, be the best ditch digger you can possibly be. Now I hope I don't offend any of the ditch diggers out there in the audience, but the intricacies of land canal engineering are not the point of this adage. Gentlemen, life is not about your current situation, but the way you approach it. Nobody and nothing is beneath you. If you devote all of your time, energy, and most importantly, spirit to the task at hand, success and happiness will follow you. Which leads me to a second piece of advice. There's nothing past happy. I think Senior Aaron Gokaslin hit the nail on the head in his final senior speech. Do what you love, and I guarantee you that the happiness you receive will outweigh any external benefits that you can imagine. Follow your spirit and never sacrifice your character for anything. Now, like I said at the beginning, this speech is supposed to be about saying goodbye. But honestly, I just can't do that. I'm not saying goodbye, because I hope to see each and every one of you again next year and in the years to come. You see, when I leave these halls with memories I hold dear, I'm not leaving for good. I'll be back to have lunch with Dr. Thornberry. I'll get the boys back together and take over the senior room once more to blast some Juicy J. And you better believe I'll cheer my heart out at the 100th Gilman McDonough game. I might even paint up. No matter where we go and what we do in life, Gilman will always be a part of us. And we'll bleed blue and gray till the day we die. Thank you.